How you doing, everybody? My name is Sal Scarlato. Like I said before, I want to thank Mr. Hahn, his lovely wife, and his two lovely daughters being guests in my home. This is my home over here in 19 Turlin Court. As you can see, it's a 4-bedroom colonial. And here, naturally, you can see that I'm a patriot. I have the American flag.
Speak
and of
up.
course, the Marine Corps flag, because I'm a former Marine. And as you can see, is I honor the service that I was in and what I have done in Korea. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Mr. Hahn again for what he's doing to make it not the forgotten war and not the forgotten victory. Thank you. Come on in, please.
So this is your house, right?
This is my home. This is my kitchen.
Could you show us some kitchen and oh, there is a swimming pool there. So when did you build that swimming pool?
Oh, 1970s.
Hmm.
We're here about 5 years. That was the time we had to, when we were working, we could do it.
Mm-hmm. So where are you guiding us?
I'm bringing you right now down to my, I won't call it my base, I'm going to call it my mini museum. Please be careful. Alright, the first thing I want to show in this basement is, this is my elementary graduation. This is when I was 13 years old. And I'm going to point out another person. This person here is Sonny Pecora, my best friend. We went through life together, Marine Corps, school, everything. And this is me when I was 16 years old. If you can see the crew we had, we were like the Amboy Dukes. This was 1949. This is the area in Korea that I was stationed. It's above Panmunjom, about 30-40 miles. And this was the Marine section called the Western Coast of Korea. And it was called the Jamestown Line. That right here is where I got wounded. It was called Hill 58A, Siberia. Okay, we're going to move on a little bit over here. This is 1951 in boot camp. If you see that little arrow, that's me up there graduating. This arrow here is just before we went to Korea. These are the fellas I went to Korea with. That was a TNR training. It was Queen Company at the time. This was in Camp Pendleton. That was in Camp in Paris Island. This is a special citation that Sigmund Rhee, the president of Korea, gave us, called the President Unit Citation. Gave it to all the Marines that served in Korea. And as we move on, if you see this frame up here, you'll see I kept my ID card and some of the cards we had to use when we were in Korea for the Geneva Convention. One just fell down. But there's another card there. I'm going to explain that later. It says United States Navy. I was in the Naval Air Reserve before I went in the Marines. This certificate, when you join the Marines, they make your father an honorary member. That certificate there is when you cross the international deadline. And that's the ship I came home on. It was called the Gordon, USS Gordon. There was 1,400 Marines and 1,400 Army guys. And as you see, there's a lot of other documents here. This here is a barbed wire from the DMZ. I picked that up in 2000 when I went to Korea. And as you see here, these are the main weapons that were used in Korea. This is the M1 rifle. This is the M1 carbine, and that's a Chinese rifle and North Korean rifle that they used in Korea. And this is some of the pictures when I was in the Naval Air Reserve. I was 16 years old here. If you could see, I was in the first jet right here that the Navy ever got. This was in Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn. That's me up in the cockpit, and that's me going on a, this was me going on a flight to training on a carrier. This is the bunker I was in. This was right after I got out of the hospital in Korea. This is a sort of a houseboy, I guess they called him at that time. That's me when I joined the Marines. This is me again in Korea. This is in Ashgaon City area. This is me and my best friend. I would mention in the picture, Sonny Pecora. Like I said, we grew up. This is, I don't know where it was, somewhere in Korea in the winter. This is also in the mountains somewhere. This picture here, my mother carried in her purse. So for sentimental reasons, I put it right here. This is my oldest grandson.
Oh.
I made a document of him. That's Nicholas. That's my uniform, by the way.
Oh.
My dress blues. And as you can see, oh, this is me and my Gumbata again. This is 1951 in California, and this is 1991 in this house. So you can see we still see each other.
Oh.
This medal I'm very proud of. This medal here, I have multiple medals, but this medal here is the highest award. This is given by the Little Angels. I don't know if you heard of the Little Angels.
Yeah.
They're Koreans.
Yeah.
And this is the one, the president of the Little Angels gave me this. You know, this was the first medal I think it was 1994, I think, or 95, the first medal the Koreans gave us. So I had it framed. But you can see multiple medals that all different Korean organizations that we deal with gave us.
Mm.
And this here is the United States military medals. If you can see, this is the Purple Heart. What I mentioned before I got wounded.
That's the Purple Heart.
That's the Purple Heart. This is issued when you get wounded.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just multiple medals. This is from the Navy, National Defense. This is the Korean Service Medal with 3 major battles, the UN Medal. This is a special medal that the Korean government gave us, called the Korean Defense Medal. This the state gave me for having this, and so forth and so on. But these are pamphlets from the North Koreans. If you
From
can
North
see them.
Koreans?
Yeah, these are, I don't understand what they are, but you know, when you drop pamphlets down to either surrender or you know, join or whatever it is. I don't remember where I got them. Someone gave it to me.
We have to scan that.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Put that over here. This is also some Korean stuff. I have some old Korean money here. This is North Korean money.
Let's scan.
That's modern stuff. Okay. This here is Korean. This is the money we used. It's called I just lost it. Scrip.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have money. They would give you scrip. This is Korean old money.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great. Excavating here.
And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. This is a picture on the 50th anniversary. The Newsday gave us a big story. You know, if you see there's 3 of us and 3 Koreans. These are my very good friends. This here, the colonel's giving me a medal. He gave me this medal here. This for meritorious service. And, you know, as you can see, these are all the flags of the United Nations, all here. Everyone that fought in the war and all the military. This is another award I got from, this was an admiral that we went on his frigate in Korea, he gave me. And these are other major citations here. And as you can see, this is all West Point. All this stuff here. And most of this stuff over here is Korea, not Korea, I'm sorry, all Marines, mostly Marines here. And as you can see, my collection. This is my Marine side. This picture I'm going to be showing you now is very effective. And I think all Korean War vets and all Americans and Koreans should see this picture. It's a picture of Korean and American shaking hands. I call this joining hands. When I was in Korea, I think it was 1999, I met her, I went to the high school there, and a young girl said to me, naturally through an interpreter, she would like to do something to remember her by. I said, well, we threw a few suggestions, and I said, well, why don't you make, and me and the principal shook hands. That's what we did. So she took a picture. She says, that's what I'm going to draw. I said, okay. I don't know, it was 6 months, 5 months, whatever it was. Whatever the length of time was.
Piece.
I get this in the mail with a letter. Unfortunately, I don't know where the letter is right now. It's on the back here, saying this is the drawing I feel that you'd have. And that's what she sent me this. So I framed it. Now this picture should be in at least 4 different Korean and American office, you know, politicians that I gave it to. Because I think it says, the picture is 1,000 words, and I think this picture says it all. Because it's 60 years that we're both united, and we're still united. I think we're much stronger than ever between the United States and Korea. Every other country throws us out, unfortunately. Or we build and they take advantage of us. But I love this picture. I treasure it. And unfortunately, I got no more walls. So I'm revamping a lot of stuff so I could put this back up.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
I think it says it. It says it all.
Yeah.
Says it all, really. Says it all. And the power. Look at the power in the hands. You know, like, you see the power? Just take a look at this.
Yeah.
And all in here.
I wonder if I can scan this. It will be great.
That's big. How are you going to scan it?
I have a big scanner.
Oh, you want to try?
Yeah. Let's think about later. But I want you to explain that pancho. What do you call that?
Pancho.
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
go there.
Well, as you can see, I'll show you something that's cute. All right? A lot of people don't have this. You know what that is? That's the DMZ. This is where they signed the truce in 1953. See these blue houses? That's where they signed it. This is North Korean tower, and this is South Korea. And that's the DMZ right here. So when I saw it, I had to buy it. I thought it was a great novelty to have. It was done in 2000, I believe. What Newsday did, not 2000, it was Veterans Day. They wanted to have articles of different wars, so they requested, I'm really on their mailing list, so that's me over here. That's a World War II guy. Those are Vietnam guys in Desert Storm. But it was pretty effective. It was nice. This here may be interesting. I don't know if you want to do anything. This is my recruiting book.
Mm.
This is when I was in the Marine Corps and the recruits. Let's see. I'm in here, I know it. As soon as I find me. Oh well. Oh, let me look. Now I'm curious, right? Okay. Outside shot. This is what platoon 518. Yeah, platoon 508. That's me.
Doesn't look like you.
Yeah, that's me.
You sure?
Yep, believe me, that's me. You see my name, and this is me here.
That doesn't look like you either.
No, that's me.
Too young, right?
Yeah, well, I was 18 and a half.
Yeah.
I was young. I was a young man. Sometimes I had a woman escort, not hanky-panky, but just an escort for interpreters, and each one, every time I left, gave me a doll. And you can see I got each doll. This one here, the First Lady gave me. This here, and this over here. We had a luncheon with the First Lady about 3 years ago, and I was the coordinator, and she cooked for us.
Yeah.
She cooked omelets, seafood omelets. She cooked 1 or 2 per table. It was like 20 people at a table, so forth and so on. Then naturally we had lunch. But there was some, she gave me this tea set, and that, and there's something else, I don't remember what it was, or this doll. So this has a little history amongst itself too. And all these represent different fans. Every time somebody gave me a fan like that, they had something in there like this. I don't know what they mean, but to me they mean something. This is the UN medal, but if you look at the picture, there's multiple faces in there. It's supposed to be famous faces like General MacArthur, Ridgway, and so forth, but there's also the first president of Korea there, which unfortunately a lot of Koreans don't know. So that's Sigmund Rhee, and those are all the nations that fought in the Korean War. And those are the outfits for the United States that fought in the Korean War. All different divisions and aircraft and so forth. So I like to show that.
Is that right? Oh, everything included there?
Everything over there was United States.
Okay. Could you stand beside that frame?
Sure.
Under the curtain?
All right.
Don't push hard. That.
Okay, this is all the units that fought in the Korean War from the United States. If you notice, these are all the corps, 1st Marine Division. This is the 1st Marine Brigade, 1st Cavalry, 2nd Cavalry, 3rd Division, 5th Combat Team, 7th Division, 24th, 25th Division, 40th Division, 45th, 181st. This is the Marine Air Wing, 5th Air Force, 13th Air Force, 20th Air Force, and this is the 7th Fleet, Navy, and everybody was under the 8th Army. So it tells a nice story there.
That's an excellent frame.
Yeah, and if you look on the background, that's our medal. That's this medal here. See the blue and white?
Yeah.
I made it that way, so have some kind of effect.
You are impeccable.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you a little sad story now. In I guess it was 1980s, approximately, there was an outfit called No Greater Love. It was the first Korean group that formed, and they fought the government to get a monument, and this is what they got. Park bench.
Where is that?
In Washington, D.C. This is in Arlington.
Yeah.
All right, this is in Arlington, but the embarrassing thing is they gave us a park bench. They didn't give us a monument. So when the Korean War vet got together and formed in '85, the idea was is to get a monument. So we did. And now we got the monument, which is that.
Yeah.
Okay? But the sad part, and the second sad part is the Korean government only gave us a tree. Right next to the 2 trees, one here and one here.
Mm-hmm.
That was the sad part. But later on they corrected it, which they gave us a lot more. So what happened was, this is our monument in Washington. There's 13 servicemen. What happened here, I tell you, very, very active. So Newsday sent a photographer and a reporter to Washington to follow me. And they followed us all the way around to take a story. And there was 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
This is my Gumbada that I told you. This is me, and this is another friend of mine. He happened to be in the picture. And this is a story on the 2000. They followed us all over taking stories.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally I framed it. So
Nice.
now we got a monument. But there's still a problem with the monument, unfortunately. I could tell you that later, but you know, money talks. Nobody wants to do anything. It's just another sad part. But at least we got our monument now, you know, and that's an awesome monument if nobody ever saw it. For the groundbreaker, I think Bush was there, I think, the father. And these are all guys that signed it was there. We were like 50 people that went down there for the groundbreaking. It was really awesome. It was really awesome. And that's a granite stone. I have some over there too. There's a granite stone. You know, the monument has a granite, large a granite stone with all pictures on it.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was they took the extra granite and they made plaques like this.
Mm-hmm.
And they were selling them to get some funding to finance the monument, you know, especially for repairs and stuff. So that's one of them. They came out with 2 different types. What I have here is the whole lower part is all Korean, a Korean War. All the upper part is all different wars we have. And this is the other granite stone that I was telling you about. That's not part of that, but we could take one out. As you can see, it has a very, very effective saying on it, you know. Somebody had to touch it to make it upside down. This here is when I was in the Marine Corps. This is a book when you fire on a range, okay? It keeps your score, how you progress and everything. You got to remember, I was from Brooklyn, and the only rifle I shot was at the Penny Arcade, so my marksmanship wasn't that good. I made marksman, but I barely made it. You know, I just made the score, but I kept the book anyway. And this is a miniature of what's on the wall. You see all the faces?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, they sew little squares. So, like I said, I wanted it, and see, when they did the monument, they only could do infantry. So a lot of guys say, look, what happened to the supporting units? You know, you got a lot of combat engineers, you got a lot of artillery and stuff, so what they did is they made the wall. And that's what these are. These are all supporting units. You got Air Force, you got Navy, and so forth and so on. And a lot of stuff here I got with gifts from a lot of Korean groups, as you can see. Okay, this was from the DMZ. Mm-hmm. It's called Joint Systems something. Something like that, at Panmunjom. And you naturally see these are all Marines, which I'm a Marine, so.
Joint Security Area.
Yeah,
JSA.
Joint Security Area,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Something like that, right. And as you can see, most of the stuff here is Korean War vet memorabilia. So these here, the chains, every time I went to Korea, I picked one up to remind me. But I got multiple ones over there that I just bought. But this came from the DMZ, all that stuff up there. And this poncho, I'd like to show you something, especially this thing. This is a banner, a battle banner from the Korean Marines. You might see that Korean Marine I showed you a picture? He gave me this. It's supposed to be for good luck. So I'm assuming it was good luck because I'm here. So whatever the writing on it is, whatever, it's supposed to say good luck. So anyway, I kept it for all these years. It's a battle banner of whatever company it was, you know.
So you actually used it during the war?
I kept it in my pocket.
Pocket.
Well, they used it. I don't exactly remember when he gave it to me, but one time I went on patrol. Whatever it was, he said, "Look, take this and put it and hold it for good luck." So I put it in my pocket, actually my pack, a pack like that over there, and I forgot. And then when I was ready to go home, I had it, and I took it home. So I have it ever since. And it's been on this guy, my friend here, all these years. This is a poncho I use in Korea. It's the only thing I took home.
She doesn't have a shot. So come this way and look at it.
This is, there's not many stuff you could take home when you're in Korea because you want to get out of there. You know, you want to go home. So I had a Bert gun, I had a 45, 45 I took. I had an officer's permit, pistol from the Chinese, but the MPs took it off me. The only thing I didn't take was this thing, this poncho. So I took it home. That's the only thing I brought home from Korea, and naturally this flag, you know.
So that's actual poncho
this
that
is the one
you
I
used
yes, I
during
used
the
this.
war in Korea.
Absolutely. I used more than one. This was the last one I had. In the Marines, lots of times we didn't have stretchers. So when a guy got hit or dead, whatever, we put him in a poncho.
Oh.
And we carried him down the hill. Well, mostly Koreans carried him. Or if we had to bury them, we buried them in ponchos. So I had maybe 4 or 5 of them at different times, but this was the last one I had.
Got it.
See, and this one we also use for like a pup tent like this. We use that too, a multiple thing.
So like a popping tent, right?
Pump tent they call it. Yeah, so, and this flower looks pretty. Last year, 2010, we went to Korea with some very good friends, Korean friends of ours sponsored. And when we first got to Korea, it was like 4 in the morning, I think. There were 5, 6, 7 young ladies there. They were handicapped. 3 were in wheelchairs and 2 on canes, and you know, they were limping. And they had these things for each one of us that they made. And they welcomed us there. It was awesome. It was just awesome that these young girls, they were young.